Greetings and salutations, this is Rick Koppel coming at you. Another episode of ArcoLinux Screw Guy. Today we're taking a look at a very minimalistic window manager from Suckless.org. So let's get right to it and we'll head over to the upper screen so we can take a look at the website. DWM is a dynamic window manager for X11. It manages windows in a tile, monochrome, floating layouts. All layouts can be applied dynamically, optimizing the environment, the application in use, and the task performed. So then it goes on to talk about tile layout window managers, master stacking area. What that means, floating layout windows be resized freely. Monochrome layout of windows are maximized to the screen size. Also having this version of ArcoLinux version, they have quarter tiling window on here too. Take a look at that in a minute. They do call the workspaces. Yeah, those are actually listed as tags on here, just like Awesome basically. Now you can see their differences. They're smaller, faster than these other ones they had listed here. So the only language used is C language. Now the interesting thing about this is that the DW is customized to editing its source code, makes it extremely fast and secure, and status tags. We only have to learn C, it says, at least, or at the header file. Now do you have to know C perfectly? No. You can see when you get in there, you kind of decipher a little bit what's going on. But it helps to know C, obviously. Programming language, it's already in C. You want to get into extensive detail, yeah, you better know C before you tinker around too much of the internals of it. Good news is that ArcoLinux version comes workable out of the box. Now, the only thing about this, because it's customized to source code, it's pointless to make binary packages of it. This keeps its user base small and elitist. Only no novice asking stupid questions, it says. So for that reason, it's probably not a good distro for a new user to use. It's not a good, especially if you're going to want to tinker with it and add things that the polybar uses and stuff like that. Yeah, you better research your questions well before you go on the form there and start asking questions. They're going to say, well, have you tried this? Have you that? I don't like users that parent new users asking stupid questions. Of course, new users are going to ask stupid questions because they don't know enough to not ask them. So they like their user base to be small and elitist. That's has its benefits, has its negatives, so I think it is. And so anyway, it has also, you can read all the stuff here if you want to. But that's pretty much it. Now, if you want to look at source code, configuration, config.h file. This is the one that you can configure your system on. I'll show you that in a minute too. So that's that. Let's go to system and look, take a peek at it. Alrighty. Let's. Yeah, here we got what it looks like out of the box. Looks like most of the other window managers, especially the last two we've been looking at. It has very minimalistic looking stuff here. CPU 0, RAM 6%, date, your volume indicator, and your Wi-Fi connection. If you have Wi-Fi, this is a virtual box, so it assumes it doesn't have Wi-Fi. Actually, it does, but it takes is Ethernet cables attached to Suckless. So this file is, system overview, which we looked at before. So you can edit that. As soon as you save it, it changes all these things right here. Or you can go to autostart.sh file and comment out the place where it starts conking. I don't use a conky at all. Some of these probably be correct, some of them not correct. And so let's change what you change, that kind of thing. Now, it uses the common standard master and stack as default. Like there you go. Time. 263 megabytes. 4 gigs of space and memory. Pretty cheap, isn't it? 263 megabytes. I think it's the lowest we've seen so far. Any of the systems that I've examined on this, so up to date. Let's see here. Now you'd think that it'd be in DWM file under the pig, but it's not. And then tell me what I'll figure this out. It's Arco DWM. There's all your configuration files right there. There's a file you want to edit and nano into, or whatever editor you use to change your conky. This is the directory you go into if you want to edit your key bindings, SXHKD. Scripts, you may have to check in there. Here's your auto start sh up here. You can edit your, either use nitrogen if you install nitrogen on here, or use one of the defaults to FEH. And you can change your wallpapers based on that. You have to know where to go get them though. And then here's your config.h file, which you added if you want to change anything in there. Take a peek at that real quick. There you go. And I've already changed this here, 14 and 15. Make the file up here bigger and easier to read. Very tiny when I first logged in on virtual machine. Now, if the experience goes so far, anytime I've installed one of these on the actual machine, not a virtual machine like this is, it looks better. But sometimes I have to increase the size of those fonts. Anyway, make it look good. No themes, so what's in here is what you get. No theming like in Awesome. So here's only 191 lines in this file, so it's not a very big file. Now you go down a little bit and you see these tags. Then it's got layouts here. Their float and master. Here's as in layouts. And first entry is default. Grid. The tile is default. Grid. Manifold. And floating. There's symbols for floating, manifold, grid, tiling. You'll see right up here, tiling is the default one. Then you get your static keys. I changed this from Shift Mass E to run the menu. I mean, mod key B on toggle the bar top. Do on and off, I don't know. You might, yeah. Mod key B toggles on and off up there. They want to reserve mod key B for your. This was mod key P here, so I'm going to change this to P. And then when we recompile this puppy, and save it. Next. And we recompile it. And to do that, all you have to do is type in make sudo make clean install. And boom, there you go, it's done. Recompiled it, and it's ready to roll again. And now if we log out, log back in, now see we do super EB, doesn't do anything if it does it. You do super key P though, toggles on and off. That's how you change key bindings in there. That's pretty cool. Now we want to look at okay, now we're in our keyboard bindings file, main one, where most of your key bindings are going to be for applications and such. And if you go down to down here to Thunar, right there, we're going to change that. Right now it's set for our Super F8. We're going to set it for a different thing altogether. We're going to set it for Control plus Shift plus F. I think that's available. You can check that real quick by going plus Shift plus F. So that's the one it finds what we just entered, so that's good. So save that, X out of there. Now we're going to close this out and log out. And this password, and we head back in there. So now, if all things work together right, it should be Shift Control F will open up the files. And it does. Thunar. Excelente, por favor. That's how you do that. That's how you change your key bindings in that file. Although you could like some so that they're grouped together like that, but organized, so I just kind of put them out of place. So the way I did it. So if you want to, if you're more OCD than I am, you could go in and move it down to the right section or something just to keep them organized, so you don't have the odd key out in the function section, stuff like that. Yeah, you'll notice if you do a search on that, DMRC will appear in your home directory. If you look at it, That's all it is. Basically, it's a desktop file that is its XFC session. And so you just have XFC programs like XFC Power Manager, those kind of things. Alright, so there you have it. That's CWM up here. There are spaces / tags up here. And yeah, all this information over here. And you change your background by changing auto.sh file. Autostart.sh for DWM. It's like a spreadsheet. Alrighty, added a couple of lines in here, added in what type of window manager it is, dynamic tiling, stacking, floating, that kind of thing. What does it do? That's dynamic tiling can include floating. You've seen in past videos in this video. Stack, but if it's not, if it does other things, if it doesn't do other things. Like CWM was a stacking window manager, so it had a different format of everything that worked. But this is dynamic tiling, that's DWM Dynamic Window Manager, and it operates on user friendly. I gave it a 4 on that score because I don't want any users over there apparently. I want a small user base and elitist, only if you're a supercomputer user. And what I really mean is that you use it, just don't expect to go on the forum and ask a bunch of questions, say, how does it work? If you're not somebody who can get along on your own, sounds like you need to avoid this one. But if you just want to use it out of the box, how ArcoLinux had it set up, and that's fine with you, and you learn how to use it. Most people probably would if they went into Windows or any other computer system. And you want minimal configurations, change a few key bindings here and there on the SXHKD file, then you got it covered. Yeah, you can use this one. And especially if you want to use it on a low memory computer, even though it doesn't have any kind of menu on it, makes it also not very friendly for new users. Yeah, actually this last time I checked it at 265 megabytes. We ran that even lower than that. This is just what we saw earlier. Now this is where the configuration file is in arco.dwm.config.h, where you change it for your system. Key bindings in this file here though, and it's written in C programming language. A list of key bindings? No, not really. That's small clunky list, but that's about it, like standard ArcoLinux clunky list key bindings. And bar info's got, probably should get that a 4. The 5's got less than those. So it doesn't have a whole lot on there. We should have a 4. And overall score gave it a 5. It's a good window manager. It's not too bad and stuff, but it's kind of average in what it can do. And the only real advantage it has is if you want to, you have an old computer like that. My mom's old computer, I think, has 512 megabytes of RAM memory on it. That kind of thing. It's got a low CPU usage. Something like this might be able to run on it, run programs on it. Maybe I'll test out someday and find out. But I probably would install this on that for see if I installed anything. to see if I can get it to work good. Because last time I installed the XFCE on it using Xubuntu, and it's real buggy, slow, and draggy. It wasn't usable. It just works so slow. As with Firefox, I know it's kind of a bloated web browser. Probably use GT browser or something like that on it. Might work that way. Keep all your programs minimal, minor. Who knows? I have to swap out to the hard disk so much. So that's my 5. I gave 5 overall score, and that's what I think of the window manager. Yeah, it's pretty good, but I'd use it if I had to. But if I get along with it okay in its current state, I didn't have to make any major changes to the configuration file. I don't know C program language that well. It would have to be dangerous probably. Or I don't know enough Python to be dangerous. Well, it may vary. So if you know C and you want a very minimalistic, small footprint type window manager, it's your window manager for you. And probably get along with it just fine. Now, like I say, if you're a new user and you want to use it anyway, despite the threat of small user base being elitist and no stupid newbie questions, that kind of thing, that don't bother you, then you could get it on ArcoLinux as it's installed and use it as it's designed out of ArcoLinux out of the box, so it'll be usable. You can use it however you want. So I have to install a printer and stuff like that, cups and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, you can use it overall. So there you go, that was DWM, not too bad. And don't forget, this coming Sunday, we got another episode of Coffee with Natalie and Screw Guy scheduled at 4 p.m. Which I'll be there. Hopefully you will too. And join us. So, some general chit chat about Linux and drinking some beverage of your choice. Doesn't have to be coffee. And we'll have a good time hopefully. Talk about Linux and other computer tech stuff and things like that. So until next time, may the Linux force be with you. Bye.